through the incident last night. We did release the name of the Valero employee who was fatally injured last night. His name is Tommy Manis. He was 40 years old, lived in Alvin. There was one other Valero employee who was injured. He's at the hospital being evaluated. There was also a contract worker who suffered minor injuries. He was treated and released last night. The incident is still under investigation. Happened at a boiler that's associated with the steam system here at the refinery, provides steam to refinery units. It's one of several boilers that we have, so that boiler is out of commission for now, but it's being out of commission does not affect overall production at the refinery. So that's pretty much all the new information I have. I'll take any questions if you have them and try to answer them. But the incident itself does remain under investigation, and that investigation is likely to take a while.
How long had Tommy worked out here?
He had hired into the refinery in March of 2007.
Was he an operator or maintenance?
He was a instrument operator.
Instrument electrical.
Instrument electrical technician.
Was there any indications there were problems with this boiler beforehand? Or?
Well, the boiler had tripped offline during the day yesterday, and so a crew was assigned to work on restart of the boiler, and Mr. Manis was part of that crew. Several employees were working on that. So it was during the process of trying to get that boiler restart that the incident happened. But again, this is all under investigation, and the cause has not been determined yet.
How many employees or contractors were in the area at the time when?
I'd say a handful of employees. I don't have an exact number.
Why did the boiler trip off? Was that weather related?
We don't know at this point. That's one of the things that's under investigation. We know it was very cold yesterday, obviously, but it wasn't necessarily related to the weather, and that will be determined in the investigation.
You said investigation. Who is doing the investigation? Is it local authorities? Is that also like OSHA? Have they been involved in?
Valero's doing an internal investigation. OSHA investigators are on site, and we are working cooperatively with them to do an investigation. We have also notified other regulatory agencies. We did a courtesy notification of TCEQ, even though there was not a big environmental aspect of this incident. We notified the Chemical Safety Board. Haven't heard from them whether they're going to launch an investigation. We notified EPA. Obviously, we notified local Texas City emergency management officials, local fire department, local police, things like that. So we are working with all the government and regulatory agencies that are applicable.
Can you just describe maybe what happened? How did he die? I mean, without being too graphic here, but what was the cause of death?
Well, the medical examiner was here last night, and they're the ones that will conduct the investigation and determine how Mr. Manis passed away. So we don't have any of that information at this time.
You said earlier that there had been a fay around the boiler. I mean, was it a fay or did it contain steam pressure? Or, I mean, what was the fay?
Well, the boiler itself was not working, and then with the incident itself, that was more of what happened that caused the injuries. But again, that's under investigation. I don't want to characterize it as anything. There were media reports that talked about it being an explosion. That's not necessarily the case. That hasn't been determined yet. That can't confirm that.
What's the definition of an explosion?
I don't have the technical. I mean, it's not as.
Because I mean, folks around here are talking about loud noise, shaking.
Right. Yeah, there was a loud noise, obviously, but it's not as easy to define as you might think. Not everything is an explosion. So that again, that'll be part of the safety investigation.
But did something blow off, or pop open suddenly and strike Mr. Manis, or is that?
At this time, we don't have that information. That's all going to be part of the evidence that's gathered, and the investigators will work on that. They're talking with employees who were at the site and witnesses who saw the incident happen. They will also view any video or photos that are available.
What's the extent of the injuries of the other man who's in the hospital now?
He suffered some cuts and contusions, I believe. And the contract worker who was treated and released, I believe he suffered a fall.
The worker that was injured, how long had he worked for? How long has he worked for Valero?
We're not releasing information on him due to privacy concerns. his name or age or time with Valero.
How about the contractor? What company did he work for?
It's Industrial I&E is the name of the company, but again, we're not discussing his identity with that.
Was this a project in which there was a mix of, obviously there was one contractor, where there was when you say a handful of people, was it mostly Valero employees, mostly contract employees on scene?
At this point, I'd say it's mostly Valero employees.
Generally, boilers provide power for operations.
Well, this boiler provides steam. A lot of
Excuse me.
refinery units use steam. This was not a boiler that provided electricity. It was steam. In among the main process units.
Okay.
Fred, is this north